Hey guys, well, I'm out here in the van today going to try to do some winter projects that I had. One of the things that I was thinking about doing to my van is adding a sink. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do that. I've thought about differences in whether I want a hand pump, like I've seen some of you guys have, or if I want an electric pump. And I'm leaning towards the electric pump because my thinking is if I have something in my hands, or if I'm trying to wash my hands, it'd be hard to, pump the pump and wash my hands at the same time. But anyways, I went and got a few things for this sink, and I don't have everything that I need yet, but let me show you what I have. I went to, used to be called Surplus City or something of that nature, but it's called Bargain Hunt, and they have all kinds of everything, kitchen things, bedding, linens, clothes, electronics. They just have a lot of stuff that's cheap. It's like stuff that was maybe returned or discontinued. And I found these mixing bowls, and I really just needed one, but it came with two, and they're just little mixing bowls. This one is a smaller one. I don't have a tape measure here to show you, but it's about 10 inches. And I'd say this one is about 13 or 14 inches. And I don't know which one I want to use. I'm leaning towards the small one. I don't think I really need a big sink. But it's going to go here somewhere. I'm probably going to have to rebuild this cabinet. Let me move Scooby out of the way. I'm going to have to rebuild this cabinet. What I was wanting to do here is build this countertop out farther here and kind of make this at an angle. I hope you can see that, but if I made this at an angle and put another cabinet door here, I'd have room for that sink, and then still have room back here. Now, if I did that, I can use this one, or I could use the bigger one. And, as you can see, this one can go right here, and it's still flush with the front of that cabinet. So I can do this one. So I don't know if I want to go ahead and use the big one and just have it, or because I'm afraid if I use the small one and want a bigger one later, I'd have to do more work again. So I'm wondering if I should just go with the bigger one to start off with. But then again, it's going to take up more of my cabinet space underneath, and I really don't know that I'd need a sink this big. Alright guys, well, I've kind of got everything figured out for the most part. I've decided I'm not going to have a water tank, a supply tank, or a pump, probably even a faucet at this point. It's just going to be too much trouble for me to take everything out and reconfigure. I measured under the van, and I can fit a tank under there, but I was pricing some tanks, and I really don't want to pay what I'd have to pay to get a tank under there, at least not right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use the small sink, the bowl that I got, and put a drain in it, and then drain it either out the van or into a jug under here. I'm just going to leave everything kind of how I have it. I did have to cut a little bit of this framework out. That way I can fit the bowl in here. And instead of going back with the same top right here and putting that sink there, I'm thinking I'm going to leave the cabinet like it is. And let me set this down. I've got this scrap piece left over from when I did the refrigerator cabinet, and it doesn't quite go the length that I need it. It's close. It lacks about an inch, so what I'm going to have to do is put something, when I take this out, if I put it on like this, it's not going to get all the way to the edge of this cabinet. As you can see, I want this to hang over just a little bit, so I'm going to have to put some kind of strip up against there. And I've just got this to show you, just for looks, kind of give you an idea. That way it hangs off here, but I'm just going to put like a strip of wood right there, a little backsplash piece, and then this hangs over a little bit, but I'm going to cut it like kind of like an L shape, so I have more countertop here, I still want it narrow by the bed, but that way it give me a little bit more room as far as countertop goes. Alright, so I've got everything marked out how it's going to be. I've got the hole marked out. Now, I didn't have anything 8 inches to draw that out, so I used the edge of the bowl, but because I had to move it around, it's not quite circle because I used this edge to trace it. So what I did was I marked, it's 8 inches, so I marked 8 inches both ways, and then I kind of held this and did each corner at a time. So I'm going to use that as a guide, but it's going to be smaller than the bowl, so I'll have to trim it out a little bit because there's not much of a lip here for this bowl. So that's another thing. I'm going to have to glue this down to the wood somehow to keep it from bouncing, jumping up and down, but it shouldn't be too hard. Put some caulk in there, some clear silicone, and put some weight on it and let it set up. It should hold it. So anyways, here's where the sink is going to go, and then I've got this marked out at a kind of like an angle, and I'm going to round off these corners here, and then that's going to go up against here. So my countertop is going to be you know, a little bit at an angle. Now I did mention the 12 volt stuff is over there, but I think because I'm not going to have any water supply, it'll be alright like it is. That did come with some rubber plugs that go in those outlets, so I might end up putting those back on, but I took them off because I didn't think I needed them. But with the sink, I might put them on there. But so that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to cut this out, and then I'll probably round everything off with a sander like I did with the fridge cabinet, and then I'll stain that up real nice and then put it back on that cabinet. So I think not having the water supply is going to, you know, help make things a little bit simpler. I really don't need pressurized water. It would be nice from time to time, I guess, but I think if I can just rinse my hands with, you know, a bottle of water, or I can brush my teeth with a bottle of water, things like that. I watch a lot of van channels, and I know there's a couple people that I follow that they don't have any running water of any kind, so, and they get along just fine, and they live in their van, so if they can do it, then I should be able to do it. So that's what I've got for now. So I'll show you the finished product. I don't guess I'm going to show you the whole thing. You've kind of seen me do the fridge cabinet, and it's going to be pretty similar. So if you want to see how I do it, you can look back at that video and kind of see the process, but I'll just show you the finished product when it's done. Alright, well here it is, and I'm going to take this camera off and show you how it looks. This is it right here. If you can kind of see, I haven't stained it yet, but I sanded all the edges down, and like I said, I just kind of made it jog off over here. So I have a little bit of a countertop over here. There's really no difference in the space that I have down here. I can still, this is kind of flush with where everything was, and like I said, I'm going to get that marine type drain to put in the bottom of this, and it has kind of like a barbed fitting that goes, you know, horizontal, so my drain should just go out the side and really go to the side and down, but it shouldn't take any of my cabinet space. So that's what I'm going to go with. Alright guys, well there it is. It's still a little tacky. It's not dried yet, but I just went ahead and set it there gently. I have to screw it in from the bottom. The last piece I had was screwed in from the top, but I'm going to try to screw this one from the bottom so you can't see the screws. But there it is. I put some urethane on that, and it'll match this refrigerator cabinet when it's done. And you can see I put that piece back there just to give it a little bit of space so this wouldn't be right on the edge of that cabinet, but I think it turned out pretty good. Thanks for watching my video, and I appreciate all the comments you guys have put on my channel. It really helps a lot. You guys have had some good ideas, so thank you, and thanks for watching. You have a good one.